What an amazing day. Just learning a lot, appreciating life. Something I just learned is just I'm seeing more of the secret alchemy of things in life, and just how life is always exchanging energy with you, and how things always make sense. And it's just like, as you evolve, as you heal your crown chakra, you allow your energy, like with the cosmos, to finally like channel back into the body. And I'm at a place where a lot of my past, my exes, and my whole life, I was dating karmic past life lovers who are still like increments of my mom. And that still is like, it's such a thing to say because a lot of people don't notice it. But once you start to notice it, it's like, damn, like how many men are really like trapped in relationships with unhealed motherly wounds, rather than like noticing it, seeing the actual like attributes to that, and actually healing it. Because once you actually heal it, you get to a place of like, damn, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm really like, I'm not dating my mom, but those soul fragments that she's missing, I'm healing within those women so they can move forward. But instead of moving forward, they get so tripped up on me, and they start to, like, what's the word I'm looking for? They start to look within the fragments, or the refilling of their cup from me and different men. And it's like, you're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to like get those soul fragments, patch yourself up, put those puzzle pieces together, find yourself for a little bit, and then date somebody when the time is right. You don't just jump relationship. What people are thinking with me is not really going from relationship. Is I have so much of a soul body. Like, I have literally become the universe in flesh. Like, I attach myself to cosmic order and cosmic divine. So at that place, it's just more of how can I say it? It's being in alignment with God, and then at the same time knowing that everybody has a different piece of God. So it's almost like, you know what I mean? You got to give people back those pieces, because the more you give people those pieces, it makes life easier for you. Because at that point, you're going to find ways to, how can I say it? Because the one thing I'm learning now is just like, as I'm progressing through my life, the MK Ultra, or the training that other people are doing, is like, I'm doing my thing, but the program, the matrix, is always keeping me recycled in my mom's house over and over. But that goes back to those karmic traumas that my mom had, that she's never healed, and she placed it upon her brothers, her like people. Because like I said, hurt people, so they find ways to keep people in cycles of hurt. But once you actually clean your crown, then you can get to a certain place. So what they're going to do for the next level of programming, they're going to put me back under a genjutsu, and as they put me under another genjutsu, or another psyops, or whatever you want to call it, they're going to put me under another one, and everybody's going to talk about how they're getting so much closer to God, while I'm going to be like stuck in my root chakra, or like dealing with a lot of like root chakra things, because a lot of people aren't going to honor the fact that they're not willing to heal themselves. They're willing to pretty much give you like a half-ass offer, and then let them like kind of act like they're dealing with the things that they're dealing with. When they don't deal with it, they just mask it with other ways of how to distract themselves from reality. Me, I don't have ways. Well, I have ways to distract me from reality, and my distracting myself is reality is doing this, building up my mind, building up and fortify, like reading, going for walks every now and then. What else do I do? I paint a little bit. Like, I got the jacket. Yeah, my bad. Sometimes Eagle jacket. This jacket was a dedication to Muhammad Ali. And it was just something just to remind me to just stay in reality as much as possible, and just kind of stay rooted to where I am. Because I just got some new courts, and with these new courts, they're teaching me how to be open to the divine, but at the same time find boundaries within that. Because a lot of people are like, I'm just seeing myself be like, in like somebody, like, while living with my mother and her moon being in Scorpio, she can tap into my 8th house, which is my taboo, like everything like occult, it's the hidden practices, like all that kind of stuff. And obviously with the other like fragments of her, which were my exes, they're like integrating and creating some weird like sex bondage fantasy that I never even knew I had, but obviously it's something that I had to work through. And it's something as a collective we're working through. Because at one point it'll be something where we'll see it, we'll kind of like trip on it, and we'll be like, yeah, you know what I mean? We'll just stop talking to people and just trip and just be like, all right, I'm hurt, I'm wounded, I'm just going to walk off. Where now it's just one of those things where it's, you peep it and you're like, okay, cool. Because you got to remember, we are still being like studied by scientists. So like, people will call them aliens, I call them the government, whatever you want to call them, but they're always watching us, like, you know what I mean? It's not like a thing that we can't control. It's just like, you get that small glimpse and you're like, do I trip on this? No, you never trip on it. What you want to do is just understand it, study it, so when it happens to other people, you can kind of guide them through it. And that's what we're all doing right now, is just because we're not falling for the past life. We're not falling for the past life, like incarnations of, the past life incarnations of, how do you say it? The past life incarnations of like where they used to put us during like Leo season or like when we were in the lower chakras. And then by the time, like with us, since we're like so because we didn't deal with our root chakras, like pretty much we were kids that like we had so much trauma that we just like went into the void or went into like our subconscious and started creating our own realities and like actually working with our homunculuses and actually building like fortifications within ourselves. So like now when we come back to this reality of what it is, it's like people will piss us off because they can, it's like it's a coping mechanism. And like for me being like an avatar between all cultures, it's something that I can see each culture has a different weakness. Like with non-melanated people, it's like more of like it's like they didn't avoid it, but they're easier to tap into creativity. And with melanated people, it's more of like it's not a survival thing, but it's like it's a survival thing. And it's like damn, it's like when I tap into both of them, it's like I see it because it's the left hemisphere, then it's the right hemisphere, and then it's the constant fear from people doing so much. So I think it's just overstimulation by technology, because like no matter what's going on, we have a soul tribe. The soul tribe's running, the soul tribe's driving, the soul tribe's doing so many different things. So it's like reality wants you to focus on so much that it's like you can't do everything. And it's just like it's hard to really put everything in, like, you know what I mean, in like, you know, it's hard to put everything in perspective when everybody's searching for perspective instead of like actually like just being in the moment of that perspective. So it's like for me, I'm in this space where it's just like so much information is coming to me and I can finally like ground it back into my body, but it's just the human interaction that fucks me over, because it'll be like, all right, I'm here, and then people will like steal, not steal, because as a bodhisattva, you never want to use the word steal. The word you want to use is people. You would give that luxury that you just attained away so fast. It's like, I got this luxury, now I'm giving it away, because at the same time it's not supposed to be there because you're not supposed to hoard it, because the more you give away, the more you'll get back. Not in the sense of like I'm giving away to receive, but I'm giving away so I can serve, you know, so I can be of service. So it's like it's one of those things where it's just like, all right, we beat all the traumas of our 12th house enemies. Now those 12th house enemies are manifesting or trying to confront us. But as people who like don't go into the void, we deal with it in our own way, because we have an inner world that is so developed and cultured, because we literally did the inner work. And where other people aren't doing the inner work, they're just trying to find more and more ways to attack the thyroid so we can't express this truth. And it's just like, it sucks, because poverty is a real thing. And the majority of the world is in poverty. So what do you do when so many people are in poverty? And when people are out here speaking the truth, what do? You emasculate these people. You try to do things to make them think they're naked. You make them do things like that. So it's like, damn, the programming is so good that it'll prevent you from getting there. But that's why I say, that's why I've been working on my crown, so I can integrate it back into my body, and everybody can actually like can be at peace with it, because everybody has these programs and these traumas but these traumas are coming in such a way that it's like, damn. Because like the people that study me, I would have a good meditation like this, and then 2 seconds later, a couple minutes later, they'll analyze it, they'll study me, they'll figure out which one of my traumas work at certain points, and then they'll pretty much marginalize me and then take off on it, and they'll be like, damn, like I'm here, you know, like I'm growing from different perspectives that I'm able to reach from and grab from. But it's just like, at the same time, how do you figure this thing out without, I asked somebody this, how do you date, or how do you find love in a world where everybody's not really comfortable with themselves, but you're comfortable with yourself, but at the same time you have people who are still trying to become comfortable with themselves. And at the same time, I'm always going to be placed in a situation where it's going to be so much happening to me to emasculate me, that how can you want to stand next to a man who's constantly being emasculated, and at the same time knowing that it's all a holographic matrix, and being like, all right, well, if I do this, then I'm stopping like so many other generations from getting places that they're trying to get to. If I do this, I'm not going to be able to attain to the things that I'm trying to attain towards. So it's a fucked up situation, but it's like, how do you get to the divine unless you're going to put the work in to get to the divine? How many times are you going to actually be at a place where you find God and you allow God to manifest through you? How do you manifest with God unless you're going to do the work for God? Boom! That's it. Close it out. It's your boy. All right, that's good. That is good.